Gather round, friends and strangers alike, as we journey into a world beyond our own. Close your eyes, open your minds, and dare to dream. You are entering the Mysterious Imperius DreamStream with your hosts, Ghost Hunter Dave, Troy to the Max Extreme, and Dinosaur Neil. In this fifth volume, we follow a group of women tasked with a fantastical quest into the world of the dreaming. Several characters from previous volumes make their return, while many new and endearing characters debut. Peril and madness lurk beyond the conscious veil, where talking animals chaperone your journey, and the knowledge you seek must be procured from the disembodied skin of the recently departed. Take a chance, dear reader, and play a game of you.
Everybody, welcome to another Imperius Dream Stream. I, of course, am Troy to the Max Extreme,
Dinosaur Neil,
and Ghost Hunter Dave.
And we are talking Sandman once again. We're in Volume 5.
Halfway through. It's already epic, but not really, because there's a bit more. But, but halfway through the original
kind
epic.
of halfway through.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you squint, we're halfway there.
Yes. So far, been enjoying this. Just join right now. That's weird, but if you have, we've been enjoying it here on out because this is my first experience through Sandman.
Right? Ditto.
Right. So I've been.
This is the furthest you've ever gotten, right?
This is where I jumped off after this volume, I believe.
Okay.
When I was a younger man, I was dabbling in all sorts of different comics that the local library had. So I was like, oh my, I've heard about all these. I'm going to test them out. Got a little bit of everything. Got me onto Saga of the Swamp Thing. Got me onto some Hellblazer. And I was like, you know what, I've heard about this Sandman thing. Let's see what all the fuss is about. Got into that too. Read them all at once. Got myself burned out of all of them real quick. But I made it to about volume 5 or 6 of Sandman. So I'm enjoying it much more on this experience. Partly because I kind of paved the way. I have an idea of what's ahead of me, but also because of this community that we're reading it with. We're analyzing it. We're enjoying it.
Yeah.
And it's been a real good time.
It has been.
I'd like to thank the people who have already started watching in the chat here. We've got a Nick Gracia. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Taking a break from the gym to enjoy some chicken.
That's right.
And watch some Friends.
We've got Bert and Kurt in the chat. Apparently they have some sort of beef. I'm not sure what that's all about. And we have a special message early from Kevin Kruger, and he asks if we were going to be talking about the Sandman special, the Song of Orpheus, and the Sandman Midnight Theater, and Sandman Overture in some other streams.
Yes, we will. I believe the Song of Orpheus is coming up in the next volume, which we should point out. We're doing this whole thing chronologically, but we're kind of going by the way they're collected in the volumes. So this is the first time that we do a little jump and we skip some issues. And we're going to pick those up on the next read-through, because they're collected in Volume 6.
There you go.
Neato.
There's all your answers.
There you go. And we should also just make sure, is the audio sound okay? We've had some audio issues in the past. So, everybody, does it sound all right?
What's the gain like?
Is it too loud? Is it too quiet?
Compressor. On or off?
We've got a guy that can fiddle with some switches over here.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take that silence as a yes. Everything's going perfectly.
There is sound. Sweet.
All right. So, oh, look at that.
Hey, guys.
Hey, nice
Wow,
job,
there's
Paul.
Paul.
How you doing?
Oh,
You having a little snack there?
he's got a pocket of chicken. Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
Oh, very nice.
Chicken's off. Okay, Paul. Oh, my God.
That's why we get the
chicken
experts.
fade.
We get the experts.
Oh, man, I'm going to watch it again on the delay here. Oh. Felt that chicken just go through me like I passed through a ghost.
I think Star Wars needs to get rid of the screen wipe. Go to chicken fade.
Chicken fade. Hashtag chicken fade at George Lucas. At Kathleen Kennedy.
Solid. This is kind of stuff you don't get on the channel, okay? You got chicken cam.
That's right. That's right. And as these live streams go on, we generally get less viewers, but we also have more fun along the way. So we're just weeding out the riffraff. We're having a good time
They're
talking about
missing out.
Sandman.
That's right.
This is us unfiltered,
That's right.
unplugged, repalled.
That's right.
Paul's over there. Oh, where's the chicken?
Oh, sorry.
All right, there we go. Take another bite, and let's fade out. Let's chicken fade out. Oh my God! Yes, thank you.
Beautiful.
We're gonna make him eat the bone at the end. So stay tuned.
Yep. All right.
All
So
right,
we had a
why
lot
don't
of fun. Yeah, we had a lot of fun last time where Morpheus took a little trip down to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Stakes were high. Didn't play out exactly how you'd expect it to,
No.
but I would say it's all the better for that.
Mm-hmm.
And now, very drastic change of course
Mm-hmm.
as we dive into a game of you.
Hit the timer.
I actually said that and I paused thinking like, okay, this is where we'll add in the music. We can bullshit for a little while and cut it together. We can't, Dave. We're going live right now.
We're live, Dave.
Yeah, get your shit together. All right, so little background on this. This was published in 1991 from Vertigo before it was defuncted and turned into Black Label, as you were just saying.
Yeah.
Your Sandman collection
Yeah.
is the Vertigo label wiped off,
Yeah.
replaced with Black Label.
It's the most
That's a shame.
most recent printing of it, and they came out on all that big box set, and so it has collected everything. All had Black Label spines. How do you like that?
It's a travesty. It reminds me a bit of how this ends to a certain character. So we already talked. There's some one-shots that we're going to be covering next time. The artistic team here that accompanies Neil Gaiman, Neil himself, is Sean McManus, Colleen Duran, and Brian Talbot. And we have a variety of different styles in this fairly short 6-issue arc.
Yeah.
All
not-
over the board, I feel like. But
I don't feel like they're completely disjointed from each other. I think they complement each other quite well.
well,
Oh boy!
seems we've reached an impasse. No, they're fun. I felt like there's time. Like when it kicked off, it was a bit more like Sam Keith, a little more cartoony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there were some other areas where it got a bit more real life. I believe it's Michael Dringenberg? Is he the one-
Dringenberg?
Dringenberg? He's the one that took over after Sam Keith, and Kelly Jones too. And that's like my favorite style of Sandman art. Just like kind of pared down, a little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that as well, yeah.
But this one works, I guess, because it does dip into the fantastical.
Yeah.
So maybe I was a little too hard on it right
I
there.
think you were. To be honest, I'm heartbroken.
If this
but
was
I'm better
pre-recorded,
now.
I would have just erased that completely. But
That's
Nope.
what you miss.
yep, that's right. And one more interesting factoid here. Gaiman is said to categorize his Sandman stories as male or female, depending on like the mood. This one is obviously female, and he said this is his favorite volume that he's written, particularly because it's most people's least favorite, he said, and because of that, that's why he likes this one, which I
Okay.
thought was a very strange like feather in your cap on it.
That's his particular reason for it?
That's what Wiki told me.
Alright.
It's never lied.
That's true.
It's never been wrong.
He
I
probably
fact-checked
wrote that in there.
Oh my God, the ultimate game of you. The long game of you. Any thoughts on that? I mean, it is inherently a female story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for
There's
sure.
nary
No
a man to
question.
be seen.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give my thoughts at the end of the show about the volume as a whole, but it is like a bit of a, while it's still doing its own Sandman-y things, I felt like this one was a bit of a departure in a little bit of ways.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can get into it later.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in the same boat. I wouldn't say it was like, I wouldn't put it as a favorite or least favorite right now. Right now I'm just kind of absorbing it as a whole and not really placing them in a, chart or
In a hierarchy.
in a hierarchy
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Mhm.
So, but right off the bat, I did appreciate this one. This one's nice. It's a cool departure, kind of Doll's House style, kind of looking back at something else that's, not entirely Sandman related directly.
It's like the spiritual sequel to Doll's House, the
Yes.
second volume, because we pick up one of the secondary characters from that, Barbie.
Yeah.
And she has left her husband Ken. They've been divorced. She's living in an apartment with a bunch of other fairly free-spirited women, and they run into trouble in her fantasy dreamland by the emergence of the cuckoo. And that's where the story takes us.
That's right.
Yeah. Right off the bat, I gotta say, second time I think we've seen this in Sandman is like a bunch of people in a building getting along. Like, if I lived in an apartment complex,
You never talk to anyone.
and I'd go out of my way to not talk to anyone.
You would be that one guy in this.
I would be. I'd be the guy nailed fucking to the wall because I don't want to talk to anybody.
Before we get too far into it, Paul, how's that chicken coming along?
You eat that bone yet? Oh, yeah.
Look at that dangle.
Oh, look at that. Oh.
Oh,
Oh, God, that's graphic.
oh my God!
This is the angle of that dangle.
You're gonna get a strike on us for that.
That was graphic.
Yeah. All right. So
Got
let's
those notes.
get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I've got some notes here, as I
do it.
sometimes do. So Paul, let's kick it off. Why don't you show one of these images I orchestrated? So Game of You. This might be my least favorite run of covers on these.
Oh yeah.
Didn't care for any of these.
I agree. It's like that lower portion. It's okay. That kind of resembles that kind of Dave McKean look ish. But like that top is like that's Bush League graphic designer in my opinion. But like, I have to.
I
Agree
mean, this
with
was
you.
91.
Yeah,
Maybe it was a high point
could be.
for the early 90s.
High point of Bush League.
Yeah.
Got him.
All right, so we're kicking it off, and we are reintroduced to Barbie. She's waking up, and immediately after that, we meet a fellow tenant and friend of hers, Wanda.
Wonders! See it wonders!
That will be mentioned so much in this. I already apologize. We'll get to what the reference is if you don't know it already, but we're moving it along at a clip right now, so I don't want anything like that to derail the train. So, who's Wanda?
Wanda's a friend.
Wanda is a friend, a hero in her own right.
Yeah.
And one of the first, I would say, notable trans characters in the comic medium. I'm sure there was probably some sort of representation at some point, but this one seemed like the one that was most intentionally crafted to be a person.
Yeah.
I'm
And
actually
not like a stereotype, even though there is some stereotypical behavior in there, I guess. But, I mean, this was the early 90s, you know?
I'm actually glad you said when it was written, because that's the first question I was going to ask you when it came to this character, because I was like, they won't write characters like this hardly today. So let alone in 1991, I'm like, holy shit! Like they were going at this early. Like that is extremely progressive. So
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, she's never like a joke in it.
No.
She's never like the butt of setup to have this big pratfall happen.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
like she's just a fully realized character, and her identity is very wrapped up in the fact that she is trans.
Yeah.
But like that's integral to the story, and they don't dwell on it. They just keep it moving.
yeah.
Right.
It's like, good on you, Neil. Holy shit,
And
man!
it-
Like there was nothing like that.
No, and it feels like it could have just been written today, because like that you see that treatment of these kind of people still. So
Yeah. I love that you don't think anything of it when she's introduced. And even like, because when I was reading, I'm like, man, she's drawn very handsomely.
yeah.
And so I'm like, I wonder if this is the... And it wasn't... I wanted just to make sure they told me before I jumped into conclusions that this is the case. But yeah, when Alvin, or Wanda, finally reveals, like, I was born Alvin, but my name is Wanda. It's like, oh, okay, great.
Got it.
Got it.
Yep.
I'm not assuming things. Very good. On we go. And, like, then it's, like, never really mentioned again. Like, people just kind of make, not off remarks, but kind of just, like, play her off, because she is a bit just, like, awkward to talk to.
Yeah.
Just like how Barbie is, like, paints half of her face to go out. It's like, they're just two odd ducks together. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And it's not until we get to the end of this where it's like, actual bigotry is heard, and it's like, that's real life shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And everything you said where, like, as you read it, you're like, okay, I have my suspicions. This is a trans woman.
Right.
But, like, they're not hitting you over the face with it.
No.
And it reads as if it was written today, where it's not, like, front and center, like, get a load of this, you know?
Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
it's just a character in the story.
Right.
Yeah. Big props to Neil for that.
For real.
For sure.
For real, Neil.
For real, Neil. And then there's a couple other apartment residents that we run into here. Hazel and Foxglove, a bit of an odd couple, lesbian couple here on the floor above them. And then Thessaly.
That's how I was saying it.
Yeah, is that not how you say it?
Yeah, that's how you say
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Got one. Who's a mousy-looking woman, and possible witch.
Yep.
And then George, very keeps to himself, ne'er-do-well.
Right.
Yes.
Curmudgeon.
Curmudgeon, yeah, there he is right now. Look at him. Look at that son of a bitch. Giving Wanda the side eye.
Four-eyed piece of shit. Got him.
So it gives us a setup. All these characters, they're living under the same roof. We know who Barbie is from their past experiences. She's got a good friend Wanda who's got her back, and off they go.
Yep.
So Wanda and Barbie head out onto the town, do some shopping. Bitches love shopping, you know what they say.
Shopping, man.
While they're there, they run across a blathering homeless lady with a severe distaste for dogs.
Yes.
And I don't even remember how it was brought up, but boy, did she let you know she does not care for dogs.
That's all she says, really.
Yep. And pretty soon, enter Martin Tenbones. Dog.
Oh, yeah. Big ass dog.
She sees him, immediately pisses herself, and then slips in it. Which might be the best comedic moment of this book. Maybe it's not meant to be funny, but I had a good laugh.
Well, Sam thought it was funny, since he thought this was the way I would also die, or whatever he put it on Twitter. Also by Big Dog.
Yes. Nothing launched into her foot, though, so maybe it's not spot on.
Well, there's always room for improvement.
That's right. So Martin is a fantastical character from Barbie's dreams, and he has left that dreamland to find her in the real world and essentially, like, get her to come help, right?
Yeah.
And the cops don't like the looks of him.
No.
They just gun him down in broad daylight, and he dies at Barbie's feet there, just coughing up blood, saying, like, I came to bring you back, protect the, what do they call it? The jewel or whatever. Oh my god, it's a weird... The porpentine.
The porpentine, yeah.
Protect the porpentine. And she's like, what the hell?
We should note that Barbie claimed at the beginning that she has not dreamed in a very long time. So.
Right, yeah, since the Dream Vortex.
Yeah.
That old chestnut back in the doll's house.
Yep. Right.
And then before we get off this image, we see neighbor George deep throat a crow.
Not a gag.
Oh, man. Which one of us is going to get that 3-panel illustration tattooed on his stomach? Good stuff.
Oh, man.
Good, clean fun.
Paul, deep throat that chicken.
Oh.
Freaking
No, yeah.
All right.
I do want to say, like, I forgot this till just now, so I want to bring it up. Like, the very beginning of this, it has, like, an opening narration in that old scripty type font. But it never really shows who's talking.
It's probably Neil Gaiman.
I couldn't tell if that, or if it was, like, Tenbones, or...
Tenbones.
Or any of the other lovable creatures you see later on.
Are they, though?
Well, I'm just saying, like,
Okay.
whatever. And that... It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way for me personally in the beginning, because I'm like, I have no reference to who's talking. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And by the time I did find out, like, oh, other people have this script as their font, I didn't want to go back and read it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hopefully it wasn't important, because I didn't take any of it in. I didn't take any of it in like that crow inside of George's body.
Oh, my God. No one can take anything in like that.
Anyway, that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Good addition.
Thanks, I
All right.
guess.
All right. As it moves on, we have a conversation with Hazel and Barbie.
Mhm.
She comes knocking at Barbie's door asking for advice. She's saying, "Hey, Barbs, I'm pregnant." And Barbie says what I would assume is a very uncouth thing. She essentially says, like, "Aren't you a dyke?" Like, ooh, is that what they said?
We're still in 1991.
Yeah.
Not everything was perfect.
I guess
but-
for every 2 steps forward, there's 1 step back there. But she tells a story that her and a man a while back fell under the whims of passion and did the deed. And she's like, "But I can't be pregnant. We did it standing up."
Yeah.
I want to know what the public education system dropped so you are this kind of dumb. Because not only does she say stuff like that, but she's like, something about killing rabbits or something to that effect as well.
A pregnancy test
Yeah.
involves killing rabbits.
Yeah.
And like, no, it doesn't. She's
What?
like, "Oh, good. I don't want to kill any rabbits."
Like, I have never heard that outside of maybe the Necronomicon. Like, where are you getting your information?
I know if you like get bit by a squirrel and you're afraid it has rabies, they have to cut its head off and like examine its brain. But
Your head?
no, not my head.
Okay.
All right. Although I do identify with squirrels.
Okay,
That's my
fair enough.
animal totem. But after that conversation, Hazel leaves in good spirits, and I assume Barbie shuts the door and is like, "Whew, oy vey."
Yeah.
But after that, all the characters suddenly begin to experience very strange nightmares. That's what the majority of this issue is composed of, actually. Barbie imagines seeing her ex-husband Ken on, I believe, David Letterman there, and they're just ripping her to shreds. And then she drifts off a little deeper, pulls back the veil, and meets this trench coat wearing rat named Wilkinson. He's like, "Hey, Bobby, what you been up to? Follow me, see?"
This detective rat, he really knew his way into my heart. He found it.
Detective Rat. He found the clues. Followed the breadcrumbs. She follows him. They also meet up with a few other kindly stuffed animal-looking creatures.
Yeah.
A dodo named Luz, and a monkey named Pranado.
Mm-hmm.
And that's her troop
Yep.
in the fantasy world.
Because
Where
10
she
Bones
spends
is dead.
10 Bones is
Shot by
done.
the police.
Yep. Their enforcer is done, laid to waste. Just got the trio there left. The terrible trio.
That's right. And then off like the Wizard of Oz, they're
It is a bit Wizard of Oz.
they even like lay down not even subtle hints that it's like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
It's like,
That's
this
why I
is no-
said it is a bit Wizard of Oz.
This is no yellow brick road. This is a gray rock path.
Yep. She does
Not
say
as
that.
exciting.
And I'm like, I know, I can see that. What are you getting at?
They even have like those black knights, those death troops are like the Winkies and that.
Yes.
So if we jump on, we move on a bit here, we get a glimpse at what George has been up to. Something diabolical. Look at this sick fuck. I love this imagery. This is just repulsive and cool.
Yeah.
Slices himself open with a box cutter, and he's got a bird cage in his ribs, essentially, and he lets all these crows out, because he is an emissary of the cuckoo.
Mm-hmm.
Cuckoo.
So this is the point where I would like to interject that I have had a nightmare that I've remembered for most of my life.
Oh, Paul,
And
get in on this.
That imagery
Capture the
that
tears.
you just saw of a man opening his chest to things inside of his ribs is what I dreamt about. Except they were full-on skeletons.
Skeletons within a skeleton?
They were just well, yes, it was a skeleton whose below their rib cage all the way down to their pelvis is just cobwebs.
Ooh.
And then the skeleton opens his cobwebs and you see hell inside, where 3 more bodiless skeletons with it's like
It's a very specific
it's like
dream.
skulls with the vertebrae and their snakes
Oh.
are laughing at me, and I've never forgotten it. And just seeing that,
It all came
it
flooding back.
sparked a memory in me, which I will not sleep ever again.
That explains the urine.
Don't
Hold
sleep.
on,
Let me lie!
Martin, don't go outside! Wow, horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Neil, any reoccurring nightmares from your youth?
Yep.
All right. So, elsewhere in the apartment complex, we get a glimpse inside the madness of the other tenants' nightmares. We see Wanda is having a dream about, like, gender identity, where she is visited by a Bizarro facsimile, which she relates to, like, her first crush in a comic as a kid was, like, this weird Bizarro character.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't
know.
Whatever.
I don't know.
And then she is experiencing the horrors of surgery because she's, like, physically, she's, like, almost 100% woman at this point.
Yes.
Minus the dangle, which she's afraid of getting removed.
Yeah.
And that's what her nightmare is about. They're, like, ready to hack it off, which sounds awful.
I found this part. I mean, I liked the symbolism of her dream, but what I found weird is Weirdzo. Like, it's a stand-in for Bizarro. It's like, why not just use Bizarro?
Yeah.
You're from the same company,
Right.
Like, I know maybe you're trying to distance yourself from it a little bit, but like Weirdzo is also kind of hard to say. It's not as cool as Bizarro. Why not just say Weirdo?
Weird.
You have to stick a Z in there.
Well, you gotta allude to Bizarro.
You could by just showing the drawings. But anyway.
There was someone at DC that was like, we cannot show Bizarro castrating somebody.
What
Maybe
about
it was
somebody in
Weirdzo
editorial, though? Like,
Yeah, that we can show. We just can't say it.
I'm glad you got your joke in there before it said something serious. Because maybe it's somebody editorial didn't want to, like, have, like, Bizarro stuff in the same book as all these, like, heavier topics, like a trans person or lesbians or whatever have you, you know?
Could be.
Maybe that's some shit.
Yeah, because, like, around, probably around that same time was when Arkham Asylum came out from Morrison. And they said in an interview that originally Joker was going to be dressed as Madonna during that.
Yeah.
And they got a note because Batman 89 was coming out around that same time. So I guess it was a little earlier. And they didn't want people to think that Jack Nicholson was a transvestite. Somehow they pieced this together along this weird dotted line. So that squashed that creative decision. So you never know. Maybe there's some sort of weird influence on there and he just couldn't use Bizarro. But Wanda's not the only one to have horrible nightmares. We also get a look into Hazel's dreams, which I think might take the cake for the most off-putting of this entire thing.
Absolutely.
This is the pregnant lesbian woman.
I thought I forgot about this.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
I'm just being horrifically reminded of it again. Go on.
Yeah, looking forward to your nightmares that'll haunt you for the end of your days now on this one, where she dreams that she basically gives birth to, like, this zombie stillborn fetus, which her and Foxglove take care of. The thing, like, creaks up and devours another baby that they had, apparently, and just eats it raw right there as they watch.
It just raw dogs that baby.
My
Boy, that's not a
word.
great way to put it.
No. No, it is not. Paul, can we get a chicken update?
Not after the baby just ate the baby.
Let's clear the air, change the topic. Oh, no.
Oh, God. No.
Paul, are you showing it? Oh, God. And he's just showing our horrified reaction, which somehow makes it worse.
It's just a horrendous man-eating chicken.
Right.
All right, fade out. Chicken fade out.
Chicken fade.
Thank you. Wonderful. My God, the amount of people that are missing out.
Yeah.
These are the most fun we have when we get together. And then I believe the last person to receive a horrible dream is Foxglove, who we learn is actually Donna, who is Judy's girlfriend from the 24-Hour Diner issue, where Dr. Destiny butchered everyone there. She was the woman that was calling her girlfriend that they fought, and we see her as a corpse now visiting Foxglove, and she says something like, "Oh, hold on, I've got something in my eye." And we remember she jabbed sewing needles into her eyeballs in that story.
Rough stuff.
Yes, to put it lightly. Yep. And then one last person gets a little visit from a crow. I should mention crows are the crows that flew out of Old George.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are causing these nightmares. And it starts fluttering up to old Thessaly. Thessaly. She pops open an eye, snags it, and just beats the life from it.
Beats the shit out of it.
Yeah. Yes, she does. And then she grabs a knife from her drawer and heads over to George's room because it's gotta be him.
I know that stupid ass is the one with the birds.
Yeah.
I fucking heard the birds chirping in his chest.
Little bird cage up there on the 5th floor. And as we go on, let's do one more slide here, Paul. Just to wrap up this volume, we see Barbie preparing to enter. Well, I guess she's already in the Dreamland, but she's chatting with her group here, her trio, and they're going to head off to stop the cuckoo.
Yes.
Gonna put an end to this madness. Who's the cuckoo? What's its deal? We don't know yet.
No.
But she's going to put a stop to it because it's up to no good.
We do get told a lot about that bird multiple occasions. That lays its eggs in another bird's nest. Too.
Yeah. Yeah. They love to bring that up.
Yeah, so let's explain that a little bit. I thought this
Sure.
was an interesting thing about the cuckoo.
Yeah.
So the cuckoo being a real bird, I believe it's a real bird. Maybe
I think
it's
so.
But anyway, it
They give a lot of credence to a made-up bird. They're treating it like it's real.
it's a bird that will lay its eggs inside of another established nest of any other bird, and then it'll hatch and push out all of the other eggs or hatchlings. So it is like one of the only things living in that nest, and will just like be like a succubus to
Yeah.
the parent bird or whatever.
And it's raised entirely by that parent bird,
Right.
From that bird that it laid its nest in. So
Yeah.
just like home invader kind of thing.
Real rotten egg. These
Yeah.
cuckoos.
I thought there's like another bird that does that as well.
It's a cuckoo.
Another bird.
It's the other cuckoo.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've heard something like this before. I don't know if I knew it was a cuckoo. I think cuckoo clock. But
That's a clock,
that doesn't
though.
come into play in this.
Nope.
No.
Cuckoo puffs.
Just gonna say,
Cocoa Puff.
John
Gotcha.
Carlos, thanks for being here. Glad you could catch us live.
All right. Any other interesting tidbits from the chat? No?
Yeah. Nick's going on about nightmares.
Nick's on his hair.
Classic Dr. Destiny butchering people. Yeah, you did that.
You do that. All right. We'll move on. I'll let you guys do a little reading as I catch up here.
All right.
All right. So all the characters are now awake and reeling from their nightmares. They, I kind of like this moment where they all gather together and they just kind of share this like trauma that they all experienced.
Yeah.
You ever been in a situation with like a group of strangers and you just feel like this is a fucked up scenario we're in, and like whatever happens when this is over, like we've all kind of been through some shit together, or something like that, where you're just, you know, like a bunch of people brought together under unlikely circumstances and the bond that forms. I like stories about that.
Yeah.
It seems very real. Like it could just happen.
Happened during...
Maybe not with birds coming out of rib cages,
Yeah.
but you know.
I don't know. It happened with COVID, I'd say.
Yeah.
So a lot of us bonded over like that.
That's right, but we probably shouldn't have been in the same home with COVID.
Well, do it over Zoom.
That's right. A lot of Zoom friendships, lifelong Zoom friendships. Hazel has a great line there, and Paul is on. Yeah, you got it. You're ahead of me. I thought this was great, and this is something that I've often thought about dreams too. She says, "You know the real scary thing about bad dreams? It's that something's going on in your head and you can't control it. Like there's bad worlds inside you, but it's just you. It's like you're betraying yourself." I find that interesting because I'll have like fucked up dreams, but you have to think like anything you're dreaming is entirely based on your own experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go
Speaking
say
of
goodnight,
dreams,
children.
it's nighttime for the boys. Oh, love you.
Have good dreams.
Have good dreams.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet
Lisa.
dreams. Love you guys.
Bye, YouTube.
All right. Anyone else feel that way? Like,
Yeah, it's got to be something you bury deep, or that's
Yeah.
trying to claw its way out, whether you like it or not.
and like you're doing it to yourself, essentially. It's your own mind trying to sort out some shit.
Yeah.
So that's off-putting, but also interesting because, like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna dream about some place that I've never been. you know, you have to
Right.
have some basis for
Right.
anything that's happening.
Right. And even sometimes it's like things you unwillingly, like you don't even realize, like you're holding inside yourself until like it's shoving it in your face.
Like all those skeletons.
Like all those skeletons.
Got a lot of skeletons in that closet,
Oh.
Troy. All right, we'll
Can't
move
talk
on.
about it.
We'll move on to avoid another wet spot. So after they all kind of console each other, they go to find Barbie. They're like, "Where's Barbie?" And they find her comatose with a jewel, which we have aforementioned is the porpentine on her breast. And this is the moment when Hazel realizes Wanda is trans. Because Wanda picks her up and Hazel says something like, Wanda, you have a thingy.
Yeah. We've already established Hazel's not the brightest bulb.
Right.
No?
I like Wanda's response. She says, "It's not polite to draw attention to a lady's shortcomings," and leaves it at that. And off they go.
The most ladylike thing she could ever say.
Yes. What a gem Wanda is. So they take Barbie up to George's apartment at the insistence of Thessaly, and they're asking, like, "Where's George?" Thessaly says, "I killed him. He's dead." They get two separate balloons there. I love it. Two separate thoughts. She then proceeds to peel the flesh from his bones. She skins his face, nails it to the wall, and summons his spirit for information. But he needs to talk, so she also bites his tongue off. And then
sucks the tongue from his mouth.
Yes.
Sick.
Yep.
Just seeing his just skinless face there, mouth agape, waiting to get that tongue sucked right out is disgusting. How's that chicken? Oh, God, no.
Paul, can you recreate this panel?
God.
Get the angle right. Troy, can you pop in for a whoopsie?
Whoopsie!
Chicken fade. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for your service. All right.
He's got it down.
And then they realize, like, oh shit, we're in some deep shit here. Shit. Oh shit, guys. And I love that Thessaly's response is, "This is a pretty pickle." And Wanda's like, "What the fuck? Out of all the bullshit things you've said, that takes the cake."
Right. Because right now, you don't even know anything about Thessaly.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, and I
have a-
wanted to call her something completely
You
different
gotta have
because I forgot.
a thick tongue for that one.
Thessaly.
And hope she doesn't suck it out of your maw.
All you know is that she's not afraid to fuck up a bird,
Mm-hmm.
and she's also not afraid to rip a man's face off.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Preferably a bird owner.
Yeah.
Bird owner. Bird owner.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. And then if we can jump on to the last one here. Now we get to the point where they're going to transverse to the dreaming. Thessaly commands Foxglove to menstruate into a bowl, which she does.
On command.
Yeah.
Very impressive. This is a moment where they say, well, Hazel can't because she's pregnant, to which Foxglove is like, go on. And they're like, and Wanda can't because she's a man. And they're like, hey, now.
Yeah. It's 1991.
Yep. And they use that blood in a ritual with the moon goddess to travel to the dreaming. And just another kick in the pants, they don't let Wanda join. So, and a lot of this is at the insistence of the moon god herself, which I posed the question on our Discord. I was like, so what do we think of this? What's the deal with that point in the story? Because Gaiman obviously has nothing against that, and you would think like, oh yeah, he would welcome her with open arms to join him on their journey.
Yeah.
And somebody on our Discord, I can't remember who, it might have been J-Man actually, or maybe it was Fusion. Can't remember. Two new members, one of them said it. One of them gets the pretty pickle.
There you go. Pretty pickle award.
He said many times in Sandman, and this is no exception, we see the deities as very vain, close-minded, and petty.
Yeah.
And they're very human. These people that we would look up to as gods.
Yeah,
and it's like, these people, these gods are worse than people. in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Or right down there along with them.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I guess that checks out.
Yeah, we even
Like,
see it
bummer
from
for
Morpheus
Wanda,
from time to
but
time.
yeah, very much with Morpheus.
I think it resonates heavily with that last issue we had too, where the Christly God was kind of a brick.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. And
still
really,
is.
the only deity that seems pretty all-knowing and all-loving is Death.
Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty
For the
even
most part.
keel so far, all the way
She's
through.
got her head on straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we move on. We get a glimpse at Barbie as she continues on her trek with her bros here. They're evading these guys right out of Oz, hiding in the snow. It's reminding me of Lord of the Rings too, because we just watched all those. It's like when they're hiding under that, that log from the Nazgul.
Yep.
And along those same lines, we check in. Troy's just
Going right to sleep. Visit me, Sandman.
take me away. And we also check in with Morpheus for like the first time almost in this. He's literally in like 3 pages up until now.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that he still has Nuala hanging out with him in his dream castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The girl that was gifted to him in the last issue. And you're like, what is he going to do with her? And she basically alerts him like, there's some shit going on down here.
Yeah.
And like, sorry, I know I'm not supposed to like interfere, but like I warned her.
Yeah.
And don't hit me. You know?
Yeah, pretty much. And
Yeah.
he's like, okay. And then walks away, comes back.
And she's like,
Thanks for telling me. You did a
Yeah.
great job. Keep it up.
Yeah. She gives a big old dopey smile.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we switch back to the apartment. We see Wanda is arguing with Faceless George here. Or maybe All-Face George. I'm not sure what to call him.
Yeah.
Where, once again, as we do many times with Wanda, she's having to basically, like, stand up for herself as someone's, like, questioning her identity and all that. And she's very firmly saying, like, I know who I am.
Yeah.
Don't you fucking bring this in my house.
Yeah.
You're a
face.
Yeah, you're a face.
Yeah. And he warns her that whatever they did with the moon, it's gonna fuck with the tides. Because moons and tides and menstruation, they all go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Intertwining cycles.
That's right.
And he's like, there's a storm coming. You better watch out. You better put up an umbrella. And we take a quick look back in the fantasy land as poor Trenchcoat Rat is butchered before our eyes.
I think this happens after the monkey Pranado also gets rung up by something.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna go look ahead. Well, it's been days. He hasn't been back, and then you just see him fall, like being hung around the neck. It's like,
Yeah.
well,
He's dead.
he's dead.
Somebody take his cute hat. I love it.
Yeah, and we find out that the dodo has betrayed them.
Yep.
Yeah,
Luz.
sons of bitch.
Did it for the lulz.
Sons of bitch.
Sons of bird bitch.
Birds are terrible in this book,
They are.
Yeah.
Other than Matthew the Raven.
but we
That's
don't see
true.
him in this book, do we?
I think he's in 1 page, maybe.
Oh, he steered
like,
clear.
Yeah,
he
he's
got
like,
on
hey,
a
Morpheus,
dodge.
what's up? What are we doing? He's like, don't worry about
Get
it,
out of here!
Matthew.
We're about to fuck up some birds.
Yep, I don't want you to see
Yeah,
this,
you don't
Matthew. You're the best of them, Matthew. Don't look. Avert your beady bird eyes. So, Barbie is captured by the soldiers and taken to the Cuckoo's lair, which looks suspiciously like her own childhood home in Florida. She walks in the door. Lo and behold, the Cuckoo is her youthful self. And you're like, what the fuck is this? The Cuckoo
how the
hypnotizes.
tables have turned.
Yeah. How the turntables have turned. The Cuckoo hypnotizes Barbie, essentially, kind of puts her at ease, because it's one of the things she can do, and talks her basically into giving up her own life so that the Cuckoo can fly free from the dreaming. Back on Earth, a hurricane is brewing. Meanwhile, back in the apartment, it's looking real bad over New York. The towers are still standing, so I mean it's not all bad, but give it a decade. That wasn't meant to be insulting. I apologize. That was
I did not know going into this was going to be 9/11 jokes. Otherwise, I would have prepared some material.
Oh my! destroy.
Anyway, go
We
on.
gotta combat the progressiveness of that era with just deflating our own. And we saw there the three women are continuing to journey amongst the stars to the dreaming. There they go. Look at them go.
You know what I enjoyed a lot in this volume is when it would cut back to the New York and it has like the radio broadcast and it has that same commercial for everything. I love that when it's like, it's got 3 hot new flavors. Wintergreen, something else, and salsa.
Yeah. I love that it had like
I love that was your favorite part.
the Q-tips got me. Where it's like, I'm never using a non-flavored Q-tip again. And they're like, I can't remember what they were called now, but they're like, they're not Q-tips. They're like Wonder Swabs or something like that.
Tasty ear sticks.
Yeah.
You can't eat just one. God gave you 2 ears for a reason.
There's one of them said, because it's Hurricane Lisa is what they call it, and the one thing that stuck out to me, I was like, why do you say that? Is the newscaster was like, that's Hurricane Lisa with an S coming, and I'm like, what? Why would you say that?
How else would you spell Lisa?
I have no idea. Hurricane Lisa with an S.
That's
okay.
Sissa. Lisa. All right, moving on. So, as they're going, we get a little peek into Foxglove and Hazel's relationship, which is a tad rocky, having found out that
A bit.
Foxglove has been cheated on to an extent, but you know what? They accept each other and they move on. She's like, you know what? Now I gotta buy those damn baby books and do all this shit.
Actually really loved that one panel. This one here, where it's like, you think she hates her guts and that she won't accept her, but just grabs her hand like, I'm with you through this. Like, we're just gonna get through this.
You
Like,
goddamn dumb bitch.
yeah,
Let's
I know.
do this
Like,
thing.
I just love
I'm in.
I just love that through all that adversity. Like, they're still gonna go at it. I like it.
Yep, they're a good couple. Even
Yeah.
though one of them's dumber than a post.
Yeah. It looks like a post too, kind
The
of.
other one is very argumentative.
Yeah.
We've seen that from already past relationships.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Along the way, the Cuckoo drags Barbie to a big old monolith, which I believe they call the Hierogram,
Yep.
and instructs her to break the Porpentine.
Just rubbish. Just gobbledygook.
Yes. And we find out these are both relics, that's the Hierogram and the Porpentine, from an ancient world, and by destroying them, it will destroy the land that they're in.
Right. This
That entire
dreamland
existence.
that... Because, I mean, we find this out later, but it's a dreamland... We'll find out more to an extent, but we find out that this is like a dreamland of Barbies that she filled out in her youth, and made it alive again, but it's been living as like a dreamland for many people for
a long time. Like, it's been like
Hey
this...
guys, I got the chicken.
Oh God!
No.
No!
No, I don't want that anywhere near me.
Good.
Yeah,
I'll eat that up.
this fantasy dreamland has been like every girl's princess fantasy land for like eons.
Whoever, yeah.
Yeah.
And the land is older than that even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just something maybe sprinkled Salt Bay style by Sandman.
Wouldn't it be great if that's how he did it?
Oh God.
I'll give you nightmares and a handful of dust.
He's even got like the old glasses on him.
It is 91. Those are hot.
We're hot. Still are. Yeah, I thought this was interesting because this whole time, even back to the doll's house, we assume this is Barbie's dream. Which, to an extent, it is, but she's actually entering, like, someone else's pre-established dream. This land is something that people come and go from.
Yep.
Just like, oh, okay, that's a new wrinkle to
Like,
this kind of mythology.
Sandman likes convenience as much as the rest of us. He's like, I'm gonna make this one spot that they can all just share shit from.
Bitches love castles.
Yeah.
This one girl wanted to be a princess. I've heard that before. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Add that over here, and it's just you look around the whole ring, it's just nothing but girls and princesses and stuffed animal people and decapitated birds and all this other type shit. Dead monkeys.
Chopped up rat.
There's a point to just double back a little bit when they get to the Cuckoo's house.
Mm-hmm.
There's a moment of description on her looking out to the ocean and having it turn silver and having her try to go pick it up and it still stays silver and tastes like grape juice or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That was like a very awesomely described
Vivid
thing that I read and I liked. I think
you could not have put it any better than that.
I got lost in my own excitement just describing it right now, but I thought like that was an amazing part that really meant nothing to the story. I just thought it was like something you can connect. Anybody can like, yeah, I've looked out at a body of water and it looks just like a sea of diamonds or whatever.
Yeah, and she said like prior to that she would pick it up and it would be green. You know, like, but here it's silver.
Yeah.
Like just how I dreamed it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought that up because there's another part, and I'll share it as we get along in the story. Of
I love if you just went silent then.
yeah, no,
I'll share it as we get along.
but right, it's when Morpheus is going to enter the scene again. Spoiler: he's coming back. There are some
Boners back, baby.
There's boners back. There's some descriptions in there that I loved, and I'll get into once we get to that point.
We're almost there.
We'll see if it's in the notes. We'll see if we can make it happen.
Yeah.
Also, if that dream world is destroyed, apparently the Cuckoo can escape.
Mm-hmm.
And
How did Ten Bones get out of there?
He knew
Jumped.
Okay. I mean, it's pretty big.
Dug a hole,
Yeah.
crawled under a fence,
Looking for that bone he buried millions of years ago.
just toughed it out through that shock collar on the invisible fence. For Barbie. And apparently, once the Cuckoo is out and about, Cuckoo's Day out, she's gonna go and lay her eggs in the heads of all these other young girls. Which I was like, okay, she just wants to get out. And then they drop that on you, and you're like, well, that's no good. Can't let that happen, I guess. I didn't know why though.
Maybe it's something to come. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be. 'Cause I think there is some ties to this that happens in book 9. I've heard.
Yeah.
So maybe we haven't seen the last of that cuckoo bitch.
Yeah, that's true. And
Cuckoo bird bitch.
this also comes back to a lot of Morpheus's stuff coming along. I can't wait for him to show up so I can explain all this shit. But
Turns out the explanation is because that's the way I wanted it to go, and I made it.
pretty much.
Boom.
Yeah.
Salt drop. So then Salt Bay.
I got it.
All right. So then the women arrive. The 3 women, the travelers, 3 wise women. Lulz. They get there. All right, this might be my favorite part of the whole book.
God.
They get there and the Cuckoo is like, Lulz, you tell him it's you. I'm gonna buy me some time. So the dodo goes up and Thessaly approaches it and he's like, you're a bird. Are you the Cuckoo? And it's like, yes. And without a word, she picks it up and snaps its neck.
Fuck birds!
Just turns its head around. Fucking hate birds. She's like, all right,
Oh, shit.
that's that. We're done here.
Dumbass bitch. Got you.
Yes. And they're like, oh, actually, not quite. I don't know what the Cuckoo did. Like, I guess it bought her enough time to do whatever she needed, but now she has the upper hand and everyone's, like, in a trance. Meanwhile, back on Earth. Are we okay with this format, everybody? Like, we're really just reading through the comic. This isn't what we do on the show normally, where we just... I figured I'd check halfway through.
And you're like,
We're halfway through.
Not only halfway through this book, but the entire all-encompassing Sandman saga. And I know sometimes, like, you don't just want to see people go page by page, but this is a deep dive. We're really going through it. We don't do this for everything.
This is a
but
book club.
It's a book
It's a
club.
dream
It's a dream stream. We're all here for this. We all on board? This okay?
Yes.
Are you on board?
Do I need to shred these and
That's
change
the only
format
question
right now?
I have.
Oh.
Hey! Paul's on board.
How's it? Oh my god, I've never seen it fade without a chicken leg.
Sorry.
I'm just saying. Sometimes if you're watching a movie review or a book review and they just tell you every step of the way what happened, like, that's not what I want. But I feel like we're bringing enough to it. We're chiming in with some.
We
good...
gotta get the hot beats in there. That's all we want.
We got hot beats.
All right, we good?
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Thanks, guys.
Continue on with your notes.
We're doing it.
Heard all of the bird violence that we've been talking about tonight?
Yeah, I have enjoyed the bird violence. I don't know if you know this about me, but I hate birds.
Oh my god.
I'm out on a run every once in a while, and you know those red-winged blackbirds?
Oh, yeah.
Those fuckers are just swooping and swapping at you the whole way.
Oh, yeah.
And I have made a promise to myself, if one of those gets within arm shot, I'm just going to swing.
You're going to punch it.
If I knock it out of the air, then that's on him.
They just don't want you to cuckoo their nest.
That's right.
That's
I guess, I never thought of it like that. For all they know, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Oh,
I'm going to climb up there,
lay your
shit
egg.
out an egg, and then
Make
toss
them
the
raise
babies
your
home.
young.
Oh, they found me out.
Oh, you son of a
They
bitch.
know me. My word. So,
Also, thanks in the chat. I'm glad this is a great thing we're doing here.
yeah,
Thank you.
This is for the true fans.
Thank
This
you,
is-
Michael. Thank you, John. Thank you, Nick.
Nick,
This is how we separate the men from the boys.
Nick saying, moral of the story, kill all birds.
Yes,
Yes.
pretty much. I think that's what Neil was going for.
Yeah.
Respect all lives and kill all birds.
She read To Kill
Birds.
a Mockingbird and was like, what if
It
it was
took
just
it
called
literally.
Kill Mockingbirds?
To kill a bird.
An instructional manual. A hunter's guide. All right, I'm glad we got all that out in the open. It's been plaguing my dreams.
Oh, fuck.
Meanwhile, back on Earth. This really is a testament to Wanda as a person.
Yep.
Because in the midst of all this horrible hurricane, she's looking out the window and she sees the dog lady trapped under a pile of rubble, mailbox-shaped rubble. And she's like, without a second thought, she's like, I need to throw on a coat because I'm in my skivvies here. Run down, get this mailbox off her, and welcome her into the house of a dead man who we have butchered in his bathtub with his face on the wall.
Which she immediately tells her. It's
Yes.
like, you want to come upstairs? Don't mind, there's a face on the wall, also a dead man in the tub.
I didn't
also
kill
an
him.
unconscious body on the bed.
Yep.
Don't look at any of it, but you'll be safe inside.
Okay, here is...
Safer.
Yes, yeah, we'll see. So, here's one point I really liked about this point, is that, so, when the Thessaly and the others left, they were like, you need to stay here and protect her.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay. And, like, she has, like... And she's like,
Don't fucking pander to me.
you know, she's got temptations to be like, well, do I just go up there? Do I leave? No, I can't leave her. And this,
Yeah.
but this is the first instance where she leaves to go get somebody, and like, what a cool point that this all does come back. Like, you need to protect her, and the only point she leaves is actually the one thing that protects.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That protects her.
Wow, wow, wow.
Which is
Uh-huh.
awesome. Like
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we will get to it. It's such a cool little thing that you haven't quite grasped on here, because like here,
You just think she's a good person.
at
Which
this
she
point,
is.
yes, she is. And my thought here is, oh, this is the point where she's gonna fuck it up, because you think like, you need to watch her as she's lying there comatose.
Yeah.
But
Old face on the wall might slither off and
Yeah.
swallow her whole.
yeah, just a face. Come on. But that was
Put
a,
his
Yep.
face on her face.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Real Leatherface type of situation. And then once the dog lady, slipping her own piss dog lady, is up there, they have a little conversation too, where the homeless woman immediately accepts Wanda for who she is, and she's like, oh, I had a nephew like you. And she tells a story about like, oh, he was a great kid, really misunderstood, and he met a horrible end.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of like a testament to these types of people, unfortunately, in stories like this, where they are like super good, mean well, and the world is just a shitty place for them.
Right.
Essentially.
Yeah.
So it's like he was beaten to death in a bathroom or something
Yeah.
like that. Like
Horrible shit.
Yeah. Yep. Meanwhile, back in the dreaming, Barbie breaks the porpentine. There it is.
That's it.
See it happen before your very eyes. All right. And then
Smashes it.
Smashes it good. Oh, she smashed it. And then Morpheus arrives right after that. It's almost like they summoned him. And I love the tattered coat on this one.
Tattered
So-
coat, good look.
Bit of a pirate look.
Yeah.
With that belt. Oh, no, it's not belt buckle. It's Thessaly's dumb glasses.
This is the one point when we were talking about the art at the beginning that, like, yeah, we've seen better art in these books, kind of a thing, but like, this is a great Morpheus, in
Yeah.
my opinion. Like, this is excellent.
Better than that twisty face Sam Keith one.
Yeah, like, yeah.
When I think of like
It's
how
like the
Morpheus
mask.
looks, it looks like
It's this.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, or
Yep.
that, or like billowy Kelly Jones. Like,
Yeah.
billowy coat Kelly Jones. I love that
Yeah.
too. But I love that it's just black and white.
Is my Morpheus of choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
And I think if you were lit the right way, Neil, you got the cheekbones for Morpheus.
Oh my.
Halloween?
No, we got plans.
We got all got plans. Okay, never mind.
Don't want to say too much, but we got plans.
But yeah, baby.
Oh, behave.
You guys.
Oh boy. I also love, as soon as Morpheus arrives, he just fucking scolds them.
Yeah.
He says he's gonna leave them in this dissolving world for their trespass of
Yeah.
his kingdom. Like, wow, Morpheus, thanks for coming.
You dumb dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we also learn a bit more about this land. We realize that Morpheus created it long ago, and now he is going to uncreate it. He opens up his cloak, and all of the denizens of this land just go walking up into it, ending with the last inhabitant, Eleonora. Eleonora is her name. One of those. Or none of those. Who knows? And we find out this is... Oh, someone here
Business
for business.
manager.
How appropriate.
My business coat was in the room with the sleeping children.
Business
Oh, no.
so I
manager.
had to get my kicking ass coat on.
Oh, dear. I'm worried that I'm standing in prime position for an ass kicking.
Oh, God.
Just gonna have a sit.
Very
So-
Morpheus of you looking to show up like this. Very good.
Yeah,
Yes.
I read the book, so I knew.
I gotta say, okay, this page is what I was referring to when they gave sweet descriptions of Morpheus showing up.
Before you get into this.
Yeah, go for it.
We find out that this woman is a lost love with whom he created this compact with. And that's all we know. We don't know anything more, but apparently Morpheus gets around.
Yep. He loves
That
ladies.
pussy.
He does.
He does.
Okay, Neil.
So the descriptions here are so awesome to me because they talk about how they can, like, how Dream is perceived. Like in
Yes,
like
I was
the
gonna say the same
second
thing.
the on the I guess on that left side there, the part where he's welcoming in all of these characters in, like they talk about him like he either grew or they got small. Like it's such a cool way to describe him. Like no one can perceive what is actually happening. They can
Dream logic, baby.
It's dream logic. Yeah, it is dream logic, but it's such a cool thing to me that like no one can really describe accurately in human language what they're seeing. And I just
But god damn it, is Neil Gaiman gonna
What is it?
try?
Yeah, exactly. But
right.
the thing is, like, he always tries through that human lens, which obviously only we can go through. But like, I love that take from him, where it's
Yeah.
just like he's such a weird corporeal being that's
Yeah.
just like impossible to comprehend.
When I was reading this, I wanted to see like how this would look in like a live action movie or like animated, and it'd just be like, it'd be like a weird perspective thing. He'd walk up and somehow he'd open his coat, but then he'd look up and he'd be like 100 feet tall or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you just seem like dip down and like pick up an entire land, and then you pan out and you'd see nothing. You're standing on nothing anymore.
Which
Yeah.
is
like,
what happens here. He finally picks up the land and it turns to dust in his palm, which
Or
is
like-
one of my favorite panels of any
It's
Sandman.
so good.
Such
Or
a
when
good
Willy
look.
Wonka goes up to that door that you think is really big, but it's actually really small. It's exactly what I'm talking about.
Just Willy Wonka. You got it now.
Yeah.
Yep. So he erases this land. They're just left on like this little desert island patch here. And he's like, all right, now what am I going to do with you, Lucy? To these women.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, back in New York, the hurricane is battering this apartment to shreds.
Hurricane Mean Lisa.
Mean
with an
Lisa.
With an S.
Yep. So that's where this penultimate issue ends.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned, this one's only 6 issues. Still feels about the length of all the other ones, but it is considerably shorter.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple oversized issues, but it still feels like an arc.
It was a good read.
Yep.
Good brief read. Yeah.
Yeah, felt good.
Felt good. Felt real good.
Felt good.
All right,
You done?
I'm done.
Thank you. Did you enjoy? Did you enjoy your stay?
Can I take this?
Fucking
No.
nerds.
Oh, is he still?
We're gonna make
Still
him eat
working
that
on it.
bone.
Yep. Still working on it.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Love you.
You might wait. We might need a couple more beers.
What do you want?
One more round. One more round.
Okay.
One more. Anyone in the chat need anything? Nick, you doing okay? Okay.
Nick,
He's
anything
all right.
for you?
Paul, you good? All right.
David Patrick.
All right. Okay, we're all good. A lot of thumbs up there. I like what I'm seeing. All right. Before we get to the very last issue, any thoughts? Paul, any thoughts? No. None from Paul.
None.
You guys, we good?
Good.
Moving
I'm
on.
good to move
Yep.
on.
All right. So let's go. Let's blast off. Last one, issue 6 of this arc.
Get one for John Carlos.
All right. And this issue is titled "I Wake Up and One of Us Was Crying." We should mention all of the issue titles are song titles in this one.
Oh, were they?
Yeah,
Didn't
kind of
know that.
interesting. Bad Moon Rising. Was
Yep,
one.
Bad Moon Rising was in one. They even
Some
they
Prince.
the Radio Man references that one too.
The Radio Man. You're all right. You're all right. Wait, you just gonna pop up and offer them? All right. Sorry, beer break.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you, honey.
Yes.
Love you.
Love you.
All right.
How we do? Oh, we're out of time.
All right, so we come back. Paul, let's go to that picture that you just had up for a long time when we weren't talking about it. So we get a little flash forward to the future where we see Barbie appearing to prepare for a funeral. And then, boom, back to the dreaming is Morpheus barters with the women for their very lives. Morpheus tells them that the cuckoo was only acting in its own nature.
Yeah.
And Thessaly still demands that they kill it. This woman hates birds.
Yeah. God, do we all?
So, yeah. Once again, we get Morpheus as just this very, like a force of nature. He's just like, hey, cuckoo's gonna cuckoo.
Yeah,
You know?
he's one of real. He's so neutral here, and I love neutral Morpheus.
I love it.
It's like, I'm gonna fucking leave you women here to die.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, cuckoo's just being a cuckoo.
Yeah.
So you want me
You
to kill
shouldn't have
Cuckoo?
trespassed.
Then what? Then I kill you because you want me to kill Cuckoo? What's the difference, huh? What do you want from me, huh? Kill more birds?
Come on! Kill more birds. You're not coming near Matthew. Matthew, run!
That's my bird.
That's my bird.
My bird. My bird.
My bird. Yeah, we'll get you a bird.
Can we talk about Iron Man 2 for the rest of the show?
So it's just like anytime off camera. All right.
You lose. You lose.
So eventually Morpheus agrees to grant them one request, which they call a boon. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Didn't care for it.
didn't care for it. Rubbed me wrong. And Barbie says, like, you know what? Just take us home. Rather than kill the cuckoo, just get us out of here.
Yeah.
To which Thessaly, not happy.
I love she's shaking her fist at that bird.
She is.
Shake harder, boy!
As the cuckoo hops off a cliff, transforms into a bird
Beautifies.
and flies off. Yeah, pretty much. much. That's about it for the
Yeah.
Dreamland. And then we go back to the harsh reality.
Oh,
Where
boy.
we see that Barbie is preparing for Wanda's funeral,
Yep.
and she's in a roadside diner restaurant, drawing a veil onto her face as she's wont to do.
Yeah.
And meeting with Wanda's aunt,
Yes.
to put it lightly. Bitch of an aunt might be more appropriate. But they basically just have a conversation about Wanda, and we just get like the full Monty on how what would you say?
Well,
Intolerant
How
Yeah,
transphobic they are.
yeah, for
close-minded,
Sure. Yeah.
maybe. And
'Cause, like-
unaccepting.
Wanda's aunt is probably the most tolerant, and she
Yeah.
comes off as a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's the most tolerant. So
Mm-hmm.
when we later see the actual
More of the family.
funeral.
Yeah.
The parents.
yeah, the parents, they are just unlikable. Like, they might as well be birds.
Oh my god.
fucking-
Wish they were.
Oh god.
But yeah, I can't remember where they said this is at. I'm assuming the South.
Yeah, I think it is. Nothing against the South, but you know.
But you're kind of like that. Sorry, I don't mean to generalize. That
Not
was
all
bad.
of you.
That was bad. But
There's a
anyway,
reputation that some of them wear proudly. But yeah, they're at the funeral. Paul, let's switch to this wonderful funeral here where they meet Wanda's mother, and she's basically a fire and brimstone Christian who
Yeah.
says that the hurricane was God's judgment
right.
brought on by all the sinners over there in the Big Apple.
Yeah.
And pretty much like, yeah, and my son was one of them. You
Yeah.
know, and she's just harpy.
Like, just doesn't care either.
Yeah.
Like, it just is. It's
Like, why are you even here?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you stink.
Yep. In insult to injury, they bury Wanda as Elvin, cut her hair, and put him in a suit and everything. So
Yeah.
she's like, oh my god, they took away her identity.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is like the worst thing I feel like that they could do in
Right.
this situation.
Yeah. Might as well just buried him fucking face down in the dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What else goes to show, like, what like true friendship is, kind of too, with Barbie, where it's just
Oh yeah,
like,
she's the only one that cares.
yeah, like that.
Accepted.
There
and
are only
understood
people
her.
that
Yeah.
accepting see people who they are really are. Like, those are like what you want to hold dear, not like regardless if they're family or not. Like,
Family's what you make it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ask Vin.
No. Fuck.
Full disclosure, I've never seen a second of a Fast and the Furious. And I will go to my grave, just like Wanda, without seeing any of it.
So
Paul's
The-
queuing up something.
the,
Paul's about to live stream
all of
past 9.
the mother here is, I mean, intolerable, right? She's horrible in this, and to the point where, like, Barbie is a pretty presentable person. Granted, she drew the veil on her face, which is very odd to these people, but that threw the mother off so much, like, I don't even want her coming over for coffee. Fuck this bitch.
Coffee and cakes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, what is, like...
They're like, what? Just put her in the back.
Yeah, put her in the back. She's not welcome. Go tell her she's not welcome to come for coffee and cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit.
Like, I want
No
any of
wonder
your fucking
friggin' Wanda
transphobic coffee and cake.
Probably the most bitter shit I've ever had.
Paul's doing something with the chicken. Stay tuned.
You guys.
Yeah.
When you're here, family.
Oh no! He looks remarkably like that chicken carcass. Oh god! Same skin.
Skin
Oh my
diesel.
God. Oh my god. This one's sponsored by Applebee's too, I guess.
Olive
Garden.
Garden. Come on. No, your low tier high end restaurants. Low tier fancy.
Yeah.
I thought there. Do we have any more Fast and Furious
Yeah,
related jokes?
we have a Nick, yes, and a John Carlos, no.
Oh,
We're torn. We don't know which way to
boy.
go.
Let them fight.
Yeah. Get in the octagon, Nick and John.
Yeah.
Sort it out.
Nick, Vin, de God. Anyway, moving on.
As the funeral ends, Barbie talks at Wanda's grave. One back, Paul.
Oh,
One back.
sorry.
Don't spoil it.
Spoiler alert.
It's spoiled. And she has kind of an interesting tidbit here, which I guess kind of summarizes the whole experience of this book. She says, I think everybody has a secret world inside of them. No matter how dull or boring they are on the outside, they have unimaginable, magnificent, wonderful, stupid, amazing worlds. And not just one, hundreds, thousands maybe. Which, yeah, I would say. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it goes on with what Morpheus was kind of explaining with that dream world that is just seemingly endless, that a bunch of people inhabited this one, but inside you there could be many of those that you could just escape to wherever, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And I guess I knew this, but I don't know if I made the full connection that, like, I guess when I think of dreaming in reality, in our reality, it's a singular thing that you are doing in your conscious, where in the Sandman universe, dreaming is a actual place, and he has these sets set up, and people go to them.
Yeah.
Like Fiddler's Green was a place, and people go to Fiddler's Green in their dream, just like this land was. Which, like, maybe people are like, yeah, Dave, no shit. That's what the whole fucking book's been about. But I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess this, like, really really dawned on me.
Bird brain.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
End me.
Oh god.
But yeah, it's like, I guess the dreams are not very specific to a person, and to an individual. Like, they bring their own baggage to it, but they go to a place to have the dream.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
It is.
It does kind of make sense when you were talking about, like, nightmares, about how you're doing it to yourself, and it may just be, like, this weird deep down thing, but in this, it kind of does kind of, like, give you that thought that it's some external thing that you're seeing that you're like, man, I would have never thought of this. Like, I don't want skulls coming out of cobwebs. Like, there's... I'm sorry to bring it up, but, like... Oh, no! Well, like...
Troy can't get enough of them. Funny you should
But,
say
like,
that.
it's weird that, like, that could be so many... And I guess you could hear of, like, other people having similar dreams. Like, teeth falling out is a common nightmare, if you ask people.
Had a bad one. Had a bad teeth falling out one earlier this week.
All the teeth.
All the
Filling
teeth.
chiclets.
Oh.
God damn it.
But it's just like, that's a kind of a cool thought that it is like a shared space. You know?
Yeah.
And I mean, if people look into, like, dream theory, there are all these common dreams that people have. Like the teeth thing, as I've heard before, and some other people mentioned, like, it's a stress-related thing. Like, if you're stressed out, that's a common dream people have. And I know there's other ones, too. Like, well, if you have a fear of falling, it's this, or whatever. If you dream you shit your pants, it's this. So it's like Morpheus is in there cooking up teeth-falling dreams and pants-shitting dreams. He's like, oh, yeah, when they're stressed, they're going to love this one. Cooking up a good nightmare. Either the Corinthian... Yeah.
Oh, God!
Corinthian
Combine 'em.
teeth for eyes. That's where all those teeth are going.
And they shit!
All right, and then as we're winding down here, I feel bad we're really laughing it up during, like, one of the most, like, emotional, heartfelt parts of this. But Barbie kind of gets the last laugh here because she slashes Wanda on Alvin's tombstone, written in her favorite lipstick, as just like a final kind of fuck you to the parents and a you go girl to Wanda.
Right.
You know, like, her real name. They buried her under the dead name, as it's called, so it's like, good on her. That's what she would have wanted.
Yeah.
And then as she's driving home, she's thinking back to a dream she had earlier, like the night before, where she saw... Oh, back, Paul. Getting ahead of ourselves here. She sees Wanda as a real woman, for lack of better terms.
Yeah.
And she's there with Death. I don't think she calls her Death, but like a dark-haired, pale woman.
Right.
And they're like waving and smiling, and she looks happy. And she's like, oh yeah, that was kind of weird. And then she almost kind of like shrugs it off and doesn't think about it anymore.
Yeah.
But it was essentially, I guess, Wanda's last goodbye to her.
Yeah.
And Death kind of let her sneak that in before they walked off hand in hand into the afterlife. And then we move to the last one, which is this is the last line of text in the book. And it's interesting because she gets out of the car, the aunt drops her off, and she's like, I have nowhere to go. My house was destroyed by the hurricane. Don't know what I'm going to do. And she just like walks off, and she says, if there's a moral here, I don't know what it is, save maybe that we should take our goodbyes whenever we can. Which I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. Like, she didn't get to actually say goodbye to Wanda, but like she had that dream, and that maybe that should be enough to like move on. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna accept that, and I guess that's it.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe like the death here let her actually have like an odd like goodbye unbeknownst to her.
Mhm.
Like just pulled Wanda over as she has always appeared
Yeah.
to herself,
Yep.
and then like just actually got to say a goodbye. Thanks for showing up
Yeah.
to my bigoted funeral.
Yeah. And it's another testament to death as being like the most accepting of the deities, because she's the one that like said like, your soul is this woman. You know, like everyone says you're a man, but like this is how you feel as yourself. So that's how you're gonna appear in the afterlife.
Yeah.
It's like, good on her.
Good honor.
Good on death.
Yeah. I think it also comes back to also like, like a lot of times you don't get to choose that opportunity, you know? So you just take them when you can, whether that's in a dream or this or that, you just remember those fond memories of people when you can. And it's just a kind of another little, like that's just another testament of Neil Gaiman handling death in such a cool way.
Yeah, it was a very good point, because, I mean, people die in your life all the time, and there's people that, like, in my own life, I'm like, God damn, I wish I could have, like, had one last talk with them, or said bye to them, or something, and it's kind of like a thing that you forget about it, and then, like, maybe you have a dream about it, or something, you're like, oh, fuck, they're dead. Shit, you know? It's like, God, I guess you need to just kind of accept that, and, like, all right, I guess the last time was it, and that can be enough.
So what's your thoughts on this trade as a whole here, guys?
Where do we rank this one?
No, I'm not even saying like rank it so much as like I mean rank it. No. Just,
I'll say when I first read these, this was not a favorite of mine. And as I reread it and we did Doll's House, I was like, is that the one with like Wanda and they go in the fairy tale thing or not? I kept kind of getting confused. So I wasn't like really looking forward to this, because part of me remembered it not being one of my favorites. But on this reread, as I have been with all of the rereads, I liked it a lot more. And it's hard to rank them, but I really liked the central focus of this one. I like the ones where it's all over the place too, but this one seemed to be really like narrowed down on what the storyline was, and there wasn't a lot of fat around it. It was just like, this is a story. It's like these girls are going into the dreaming. They're on a quest, and it just felt like, this is good. And I don't generally like fairy tale type of storylines, but this one wasn't fairy tale enough to put me off. And I guess I went into it with more of an open mind and just really enjoyed it.
I don't know. I would say of all the ones that we've read so far, this might not be my most favorite one. But that doesn't mean I dislike it at all. Like, there's parts of this where I actually really enjoy, like, ideas, but there are parts of it, too, where I'm like, what's Neil Gaiman trying to tell in this story? There's a bunch of cool things that I like. I like the fact that it's very open for all types of people in this, whereas other volumes you don't see that. Or you see it in any other book around this time, or now still. I was also looking for, like, I guess I wasn't looking for it, but I was like waiting for like more moments when Morpheus shows up at that part that we were really enjoying, where the descriptions are immaculate and just the visual in your head of him like being himself is. And I was waiting for more things like that, but it's just kind of like I wanted to tell this one little story to get it out of my system type deal.
Yeah.
But there were points in it of brilliance that I did like.
Yeah.
But I don't know if altogether it was my favorite one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I can't put a rank to. Like I'm reading I'm really in the moment on a lot of these so far, and I can't really. I don't want to put it heads or tails above anything else really right now. But kind of what you were talking about. There are points that are really, really good and very like uncharacteristic of the time that this was actually written. That was just like. Almost mind-blowing to read. Like, I would have never have guessed, like, they would have put this kind of content in a book in, like, 1991.
Right.
let alone even today, really. I mean, Lady Ghostbusters can hardly get off the ground, so like, who knows? But yeah, like it's got such cool moments. Like this, like Morpheus is obviously a cool highlight for everything, and I think like this is a good instance of him like being used so sparingly, but just as a cool concept rather than to the main focus of the story. But the main story was really cool. Just kind of had allegories to different, really other fantasy stories and things like that all worked out really well, and just good, cool, strong character moments that were in this. But yeah, I don't really want to put a ranking on it. It wasn't probably my favorite one, but it wasn't, I wouldn't say it's my least favorite part of anything either.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it was impactful enough to the grand scheme of the Sandman long-form story to be like a favorite. But also, sometimes you like those little side quest stories that, like, they aren't big stories. It's just like, we're taking a break from the big one to share this little story of just some random people that were affected by Morpheus and his shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of my questions that I had for you, like, do you prefer stories where Morpheus is a central character, or where he just pops in almost like a Deus Ex Machina at the end, just to, like, set things right? Or fuck him over entirely?
Yeah.
That's a great question, because I like him it kind of goes both ways. I would say, honestly, I probably enjoy him more in this role, in this kind of issue.
I think I do too.
Where he comes in and he's the most mysterious shit you've ever seen in your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a free pass to tell whatever story you want to tell.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And somehow kind of connect them.
Yeah, I do like where he's kind of the one, like, I think we're kind of past the point, but I mean, granted, I've not read the rest, but I feel like we're past the point where he's kind of figuring his shit out. Unless we kind of time travel back to where he's still a little envious or pissed off about...
Should I leave her in hell for
Yeah.
another 10,000 years?
Yeah, exactly. But I like him as these little bits where people are trying to describe or see what Morpheus actually is. Like, when it's from Morpheus's point of view, he's really cool and he deals with things in a very unique way. But, like, I almost like the human perspective on it better.
Yeah.
Well, like, I think that portion of it is more interesting to me as far as
As
where
a human.
as human, and like where Morpheus is concerned, anyway.
Okay, here's one more. Would this story be as good if the character Wanda was not in it? Because I think
No.
she makes or breaks a story.
Absolutely.
And I think without her, it's fairly unremarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
There's no, I would say there's almost no, like,
There's not
personal
really
or
anyone to
dramatic
root
tension.
for.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, other than Barbie, who is kind of a secondary character in her own story.
Right. And she's asleep half the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's almost like she's just a blonde white woman almost on purpose, where it's like...
A blank canvas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Barbie. She is Barbie.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like the naming was not unintentional.
Yeah.
She is like the stereotypical, like, blonde Barbie.
Yeah.
I think it's cool to throw that weird, I hate to say weird, but like that human element, being trans or whatever, as like a kind of a weird integral plot point that like you can really kind of draw in what your,
Right.
experiences from and kind of get feelings for. And it's kind of, almost more kind of topical today, just as it, like, people may have bashed it then, but like now it's such like more of a commonplace, more fought for kind of a thing, where you're like, oh shit, like now I think people would probably get behind her more than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that topic, there is some controversy about the character that he creates this fully fleshed out trans woman who's a very, like, inspirational, heroic character, and then kills her at the end. What do you think about that?
She dies going out protecting, though.
Yeah.
It's not like she meets the end like the homeless woman's nephew or whatever,
Right.
where he just gets his head smashed in just because that he was the way that he was. You know what I mean?
And we should mention, because we brought this up, but we did not follow up on it, that when the building collapses at the hurricane, Barbie's body is saved by the homeless woman who
Mhm.
covers her from the rubble.
Mhm.
And Wanda is killed, just crushed by bricks.
Yeah.
And we were saying, like, her duty was to protect her. She went out at one point, took her eyes off her, brought in this other person, and that person ended up saving her life.
Yeah.
Unintentionally, but, like, you know, in the grand scheme of things, like, wow, good thing she was there. Good thing.
Yeah.
She was, like, a kind-hearted person to go and bring someone else in who was in trouble, and that ended up saving the main character.
Yeah.
As far as Wanda's death is concerned, like, I think there's a more powerful moment when death is introduced to show that visions I can't even
Visage?
say visions. Yeah.
Visage?
I fucking can't even say it.
Bird.
Yeah, bird. But that image of her is a woman.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a very important plot point that is, obviously her death had to occur for that to happen, but I think that is a more important point to push forward than her actual death.
Right.
Of
Yeah.
actually killing off that character.
And, like, Gaiman is obviously inspired by Shakespeare. And Shakespeare says there's tragedy and comedy. There's two stories. And this story was a tragedy, I would say. Like,
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot of comedy in it.
Right.
The last one, Bartering for Hell, I would say is more of a comedy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A
But
laugh
this,
a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. You see that tiny hammer Thor was carrying? But I feel like this is a tragedy. It's a story that has to end in tragedy, and in that your hero dies. And in this, I feel like Wanda is kind of the hero.
Mm-hmm.
And for that to be impactful, you have to have a very likable, good character. And I don't think her death lessens her impact at all.
No.
In fact, I think it almost makes it more impactful, because like what you said, then you get the full reveal that, like, hey, you spent your whole life putting up with people's shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've been knocked down and you keep fighting through it, and you died, and what a shit life that was, but this is your reward now. And whether it's heaven or whatever, but, like, in the afterlife, like, you're whole, essentially.
Yeah.
So, like, she does die, yeah, that sucks, but I think people that are taking that as, like, oh, he makes a trans character and kills them, like, I don't think that was his point, you know?
No.
He wouldn't write this fleshed out character and then, like, I'm gonna fucking kill her. Like,
No.
that's
Yeah,
not his MO.
No. But anyway, those are our opinions. We did have a few voicemails
Mm-hmm.
that we'd like to get to before we wrap it up here. Paul, why don't you get one of
The
these
first one, this
loaded
from
up here?
J-Man. Bring him on, Paul.
Hey, Imperius Rex, J-Man313, calling in, first-time caller. I've always felt that A Game of You feels a little bit out of place in the main storyline of Sandman. It almost belongs more as a companion book, like The Dream Hunters, Endless Nights, and Overture. But A Game of You was written to be a part of Sandman, and rereading it, I found myself enjoying it much more, which was a common theme throughout most of my reread, and understanding its thematic relevance. A Game of You is actually a bit refreshing to have a book solidly feminist to counter the hyper-masculine superhero genre. And I also really appreciated the character of Wanda, who is the only character who is secure in her identity. Everyone else in A Game of You, aside from Wanda and probably Thessaly, is insecure and trying to find a new identity. Barbie from the Dollhouse House has suddenly become a three-dimensional character who is desperately trying to find a new identity. You have the character of Judy's girlfriend Donna cling to a new identity and personality in Foxglove, and you also have lots of people in denial or trying to disguise who they are or the situation. You have the funny story, I think funny, maybe not for other people, of Hazel trying to pretend that she's pregnant, and you also have Wanda's parents trying to insist on this great lie and pretend their child was something she was not, which is very, very devastating at the end. And you also have this wonderful parallel of, and sorry if I'm getting a bit too English majory on y'all, of this theme of the cuckoo bird, which in the reread I finally was able to understand and appreciate. The idea of, in this dreamscape, this island, isolated place called Ascari, you have the cuckoo, which is trapped but also Barbie herself is a cuckoo, and in that she came to the scary and took it over and affected it in her own way. It's all very interesting, and
How about that?
Yeah, I never put that together.
No. And J-Man, he told me the voicemail cut off, so maybe he had more. Who knows? That was enough. That was a good chunk there for us to chew on.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that Barbie herself could be seen as a cuckoo because she's invading this other person's home.
Yeah.
It's like very interesting parallel.
Tables have turned. Maybe somebody should have offed her being that bird.
Oh my god.
Fucking nailed her face to a wall.
Yeah. And also the fact that Wanda is the only one who knows who she is, where they're talking about all the other characters throughout the whole thing are kind of searching or changing, like Foxglove, who was Donna before, has adopted a new name. Barbie's trying out different face paints, trying to get a feel for herself.
Right.
It's like, okay, yeah, she's got it.
Got it.
All right, and now we have a long-time listener, first-time caller, Sam. That's a joke. He's a long-time caller. But he has a very heartfelt voicemail here, which he said this one wrecked him. So this one's a little long. We try to keep them to 2 minutes. We're bending the rules here, but don't tune out. This is a good one.
Okay.
It's a good one.
A game of you contains tropes and beats from a particular genre that when presented in earnest form, I tend to find unappealing. The European fantasy epic. But Gaiman doesn't play those influences straight. He utilizes the aesthetic of the fantastical dream state, which pulls from Alice in Wonderland, Sleeping Beauty, Wizard of Oz, Tolkien, Arthurian legend, whatever the fuck Zelda's based on. Yet the tropes happen in reality, in our world, and center around a few characters, a few archetypes. The princess, Barbie, obviously. The wizard, Thessaly. The bard, kind of, they mention that she writes in Fox. The squire, or ride-along, Hazel. And most importantly, and best realized, and most important character in this story, the noble knight, Wanda. Over the few opening pages that introduce the women of this story, they are so perfectly formed and real that I legitimately questioned if a man wrote this. It feels so naturalistically female. This made all the more impressive with how well Gaiman writes Wanda, who's trans. This is 1991, mind you. 30 years ago. Fuck, I'm old. At that time, trans people in pop culture were only seen as transphobic jokes, predators, and villains, and within society itself, shunned at best. Here, though, Gaiman writes Wanda without cultural bias. She's human, not caricature, though sometimes the art... Wanda's multifaceted, multidimensional, real, full, realized human. Even today, this is a breath of fresh air. In 1991, this must have been revolutionary, especially in mainstream comics. Whilst the Game of You's protagonist is obviously Barbie, for me this is Wanda's story. She's Barbie's knight, hitting classic tropes, ever strong, ever kind, but always ever a woman. Gaiman puts this valiant knight against the bigotry of the world, holding her back at every pass. Thessaly's magics deny Wanda. Hell, even the moon, which presumably is the Hecate witches we've seen before, but presented in a very different, very cool way, are bigoted-ass turfy bitches. No one lets Wanda thrive. And yet in the face of this, she defies. For as she says, I know what I am. If allowed to, Wanda would have easily handled all the obstacles in the dream world. The moon path making you forget yourself. I know what I am. And the influence of the cuckoo? Wanda has no doubts. Only drive. Save Barbie. However, no one lets Wanda thrive. She is tasked to protect the princess, protect Barbie, which in the end, she does. Barbie accepting the boon of Morpheus, or Oz in this scene, let's face it, saves everyone who went. Wanda couldn't go. The world stood in her path, and so took. Her story lost, her bravery lost. She's sullied in a horrid and heartbreaking way. Buried as a man beneath a headstone that doesn't even have her fucking name etched on it. Her valor forgotten, her deeds unpraised, her as herself erased for all. Except Barbie, who even thinks, I'm already forgetting Wanda's face. Is identity really that fragile? And amongst a brilliant story, the best executed in tone, themes, pacing, homage, cleverness, all that shit, at least for me, this is the point where the Sandman broke me. This is 1991. It should feel like a time capsule. But Wanda's story is as prescient today as it was in 1991, as it has always been. And it is heartbreaking. So many brave, bold, beautiful people erased by small minds. To quote the object of Wanda's desire, Rutger Hauer, which, I get it, I get you, girl. All those moments lost, like tears in rain. In the introduction to Preludes and Nocturnes, series editor Karen Berger mentioned that she liked Neil Gaiman's previous work, but it lacked humanity. The Sandman allowed him to find that in him and his writing. I found that odd, as I enjoyed the story she was referencing. But here, in A Game of You,
Well, cut back to us a little too soon there. He's drunk on chicken. But to finish up Sam's thought, he said, I get it. Here in A Game of You, I understand what she meant, where this is Neil Gaiman at his best.
Yeah.
His most humanistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a voicemail. Very good one. Quite Sam there.
Yeah.
An all-timer.
Oh, yeah.
His best work. But yeah, I agree with every point he made there. How Wanda's very much like the knight of this story, and everything that they faced in the dreaming, she would have fucking knocked out of the park.
Yeah.
Which is such a tragedy. It's like, oh man, you had this ringer here.
I know.
Yeah. But I see it as but we needed you for something bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the game of you.
Yeah.
So there you go. Should we wrap it up? We've been
I think so.
going on for quite a while here,
Yep.
but
and this was a shorter one. I feel like every time it's a shorter one, we just like dive into it more.
extrapolate.
Yeah.
The topics are so deep in
Yeah.
these short ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
This was a good one though. This one is ripe for conversation.
Yeah.
But there you go. That's volume 5 of our Sandman journey, the Imperius DreamStream.
That's right. Join us next month when we will be covering volume 6, and that is Fables and Reflections, another anthology of short stories collected.
Good deal.
So yeah, before that, big thanks to all of our patron supporters.
Yeah.
You know who you are, but let's throw them up there anyway.
That's right.
If you enjoy our show, if you want to support, help out, keep the lights on, keep us in beers and fancy clothes, feel free to contribute if you're able to. That's fine. That's fine. We have all kinds of different tier levels that you can choose, and also a variety of rewards that you will get for doing so.
Right.
Along with the greatest gift of all, free access to our Imperius Rex Discord, where you can talk comics and movies with us and other friends of the show.
That's right.
All a day along.
I liked seeing some of the patrons on chat tonight. That was good to see.
It's good. A lot of names we recognized. Good community we've got growing there.
Oh, yeah.
My lordy.
We also have some merch available on redbubble.com. If you're into that, we got some fun stuff. You don't have to, but
Put on
it's
anything.
there.
Put on a pillow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And punch it. And scream into it.
Oh my god.
When life's got you bent over.
See if you can put on a stuffed bird and beat the shit out of it.
And last but not least, big thanks to PK himself here for producing
He's
this
done it.
stream. Oh my god, here it comes. Here it comes.
Oh,
that
that chicken's
fade.
so cold.
Oh my god.
I wanted to say I saw somebody mention Chronicles of Riddick
Oh boy.
in the chat.
Paul,
So,
how much chicken have you had tonight?
too much.
Drunk on chicken.
Oh no.
Cutting you off, man.
Let's pass it to Vin Diesel, shall we?
No.
Oh my god.
He's got his mouth open for a big bite. Big hunk of that drumstick. Thank you for that, Paul. Great way to cap off the evening.
We've done it.
So yeah, any final thoughts, gents, or should we let everybody get to sleep?
Well, it's one of these things where I'm glad we're reading it at this pace. I am super excited to keep on Sandman.
Me
so
too.
Am I. Yeah.
Me too.
I'd like, that we're not just shotgunning all of this to do in one ep.
We'll save that for a different book that I can ruin for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say it, like, I gave it a shot a while ago, and I was always like, it's fine. Not really for me. Not
Right.
big on Neil Gaiman. But this time, at a more
old
delicate
idiot.
pace,
Yeah.
big old idiot, big old bird brain.
Oh no.
This one, it turned me around. I'm like, this is a great series.
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't put it, like, in my top anything yet, because we're not done, but, like, as a long-form story, whew, this is something else.
Yes.
To quote Tobey Maguire,
Oh,
this is something else.
Just quote Tobey Maguire.
That's what we do now.
All right, sweet.
All right.
Now dig on this.
Dig on this.
But I think that's going to do it for us. Thank you for joining us if you did tonight. If you were joining us on a rewatch, thanks for joining us still.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But we will see you next time. But until then, I've been Troy to the Max Extreme.
Dinosaur Neil.
And Ghost Hunter Dave.
Thanks for joining the DreamStream. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Good night and pleasant dreams. See ya, Wandas.
You are now departing the Mysterious Imperius DreamStream. We hope your stay was restful and brimming with fantastic imaginings. Until next time, friends, sweet dreams and pleasant tomorrows. This has been Imperius Rex.
What's anything that moves?